All right, so coming to a comfortable seated position here on your mat, cross-legged. And inhaling your shoulders up by your ears and relaxing them down your back. Allowing the backs of your hands to rest gently on your knees. Bringing your index finger and thumb to touch. Coming into a mudra here. Allowing your eyes to flutter closed. Rooting your sit bones into the mat. Just turning your attention inward. Focusing on your breath. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Setting your intention for today's class. Beginning to prepare for our Ujjayi breath. Gently constricting the back of the throat, creating a beautiful oceanic sound. As if we're creating an ah sound in the throat, but keeping our lips closed. Inhaling through your nose, and then opening your throat, creating a beautiful oceanic sound. Continuing to breathe in and out through your nose, listening to the beautiful sounds of the ocean. Working to lengthen your breath, noticing if your inhale is shorter than your exhale, and try to lengthen your breath so that your breath is even on the inhale and the exhale. On your next exhalation, returning to your natural breath, inhaling and exhaling through your nose. And then gently fluttering your eyes open. And for directional purposes, the top of our mat is on the right side, the short side of our mat. So turning to face the short side of our mat, coming into a tabletop position. Coming into our cat-cow, spreading your fingers wide, pressing into your finger pads. Stacking your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. Inhale, allowing your belly to drop, chest open, gaze lift. And exhale, rounding everything under like a howling cat. Pressing away from your hands. Inhaling, belly drops, chest open, gaze lift. And exhale, rounding everything under. Continuing to allow your breath to guide your movement, going at your own pace. And taking one last round of breath wherever you are here. We're returning to a neutral spine in tabletop. Stepping back with your right foot, pressing the ball of your right foot into the mat and pressing away from your hands, giving your calf, Achilles a nice stretch here. And allow your head to hang, allow the crown of your head to hover over the top of your mat. And go ahead and shake your head no and nod your head yes, releasing any tension in your cervical spine. Sweeping your right foot back behind you, toes pointed down, pressing through your right heel, gazing at the space between your hands, lifting your right leg slightly higher, engaging that right glute, and then crossing your right leg behind you, allowing your right toes to touch down to the floor, and turning over your left shoulder, creating a C shape in your spine, getting a nice side stretch here. Turning back to face your mat, inhaling your right leg up behind you, toes pointed down, pressing through your heel. Feel free to stay here, and if you wish, you can take a balancing pose here. Slightly center your right hand, and inhaling your left arm out in front of you, opposite arm, opposite leg. Pressing into your right finger pads, reaching with your left hand as if you're reaching for a loved one. And pressing through your right heel, lifting your right leg slightly higher, stay here in this balancing pose, or if you'd like to bend your back leg 90 degrees, reaching with your left arm, reaching for the pinky toe side of your foot, pressing the top of your foot into your hand, and rotating your chest back toward the front of your mat. Kicking your right leg up higher, allowing your left shoulder to open up. Breathing here. Releasing your back leg, coming into your balancing pose, reaching the opposite arm and opposite leg in opposite directions. And then returning into your tabletop position. Bringing your big toes together, opening your knees wide, and pressing yourself back into your child's pose position. Tucking your chin, bringing your forehead to the mat, and lengthening your arms long. Breathing here. And rotating your thumbs outward, pressing the backs of your hands into the floor so that your back broadens. Pressing your shins and the top of your feet into the mat, feeling your sit bones begin to widen. And rotating your thumbs back toward one another. Pressing yourself out of child's pose, coming into tabletop. Stacking your shoulders, stacking your hips, and stepping back with your left foot. Bringing the ball of your left foot onto the floor and pressing away from your hands, giving your calf and Achilles a nice stretch here. Allowing your head to hang in between your biceps. The crown of your head hovers over your mat. And just shake your head no, nod your head yes. Sweeping your left leg back behind you, toes pointed down, pressing through your left heel. Lifting your left leg slightly higher behind you, engaging your left glute. And then crossing your left leg behind you, allowing your toes to touch down to the floor, and then looking over your right shoulder, creating a C shape in your spine. Turning back to face your mat, sweeping your left leg back behind you once again. And then slightly centering your left hand, preparing for a balancing pose here, lifting the opposite arm and reaching with your fingertips forward, as if you're reaching for a left one while pressing through your left heel. Stretching your body as long as you can in opposite directions, lengthening. And feel free to stay here if you'd like to challenge yourself a little bit, challenge your balance, bending up your left leg to 90 degrees, and reaching with your right hand to the pinky toe side of your foot. Pressing the top of the foot into your hand, allowing your right shoulder to open up, and rotating your chest back toward the front of your mat. Lifting your left leg up higher, getting a deeper quad stretch here. Being mindful that you're pressing into your left palm to lift out of your left shoulder. Releasing your back foot, reaching once again in opposite directions, lengthening through your body, and then coming back to your tabletop position. Tucking your toes under and sending your hips up towards the sky, coming into down dog. Pedaling your feet out. Coming up onto the balls of both feet, as high as you can, and then on your exhale, pressing away from your hands, allowing your heels to sink down to the mat, and melting your forehead towards your shins, pressing into the base of your index finger and thumb, and if you can, lifting your pinky finger, giving it a little wiggle. Shifting your weight forward, coming into plank, top of a push-up, engaging your core. Breathing here. then walking back with your hands, coming into a forward fold. Standing at the back of your mat, bringing your big toes together, heels slightly apart, about the size of a quarter. Tucking your chin to your chest, making tiny little fists with your hands and allowing them to sit in the crooks of your elbows. Beginning to sway from side to side. And then coming to stillness, releasing your fingertips down to the floor, coming deeper into your forward fold. Palms to your shins, lengthening through your spine, pressing the crown of your head into an imaginary wall in front of you. And then exhaling as you forward fold. Reverse swan dive, back up to standing, reaching your fingertips up towards the sky, lengthening through your side body, bringing your palms to touch, interlacing your fingers, and flipping your palms up towards the sky. Pressing into your feet as you lift through your rib cage. Keeping your chin slightly tucked, your neck long. Releasing your fingers and then grabbing your left wrist with your right hand and tipping over to the right side. Lengthening through your left side body, pressing into your left foot as you lengthen through the left side. Inhaling, coming back to neutral. Grabbing your right wrist with your left hand, inhaling as you lift up toward the sky, and then tipping over to the left side. Pressing into your right foot, lengthening through the right side body. And inhaling, coming back up to neutral. Releasing your hands and allow your arms to float down by your side. Shaking your arms out and walking up to the top of your mat. Standing at the top of your mat in mountain, bringing your big toes together, heels slightly apart. Inhaling your shoulders up by your ears and relaxing them down your back. Standing tall and proud in your mountain pose. Shifting your weight forward slightly, lifting your heels, and then shifting your weight back, lifting your toes. Placing your toes down one by one on your mat. Feeling all four corners of your feet here. And breathing. Interlacing your hands behind you. Opening your chest and drawing your knuckles down toward the earth. Inhale as you lengthen through your spine, and as you exhale, fold forward. Bringing your interlaced hands over your head. Opening through your shoulders. Releasing your grasp, allowing your fingers to come down toward the mat. And stepping back with your right foot, coming into low lunge. Framing your front foot, toes and fingers in one line. And allowing your hips to stay down to the mat. Pressing through your right heel. Bringing your right knee down to the mat, untucking your toes, and bringing both hands to your front knee, allowing your left knee to move over your front toes, feeling a nice stretch in the hip flexor on the right side. Pressing the top of your right foot into your mat to stabilize you. Feel free to stay here if you'd like to sweep your arms up overhead. Pinkies slightly turned in toward one another. Chin is tucked, neck is long. And bringing your hands back down to frame your front foot once again. Tucking your right toes under, lifting your knee off the mat. Stepping your right foot up to meet the left, and stepping your left back, coming into low lunge on the other side. Pressing through your left heel. Allowing your hips to sink down towards the mat. breathing here. Gazing just beyond your mat, keeping your neck long. Pressing through your left heel. Allow your left knee to come down to the mat, untucking your toes, bringing both hands to the front knee. Allow your front knee to move over your front toes, feeling a hip flexor stretch on the left side. Breathing here. Feel free to stay here, sweeping your arms up overhead, pinkies slightly turned in towards one another. If you'd like to take a slight back bend here, feel free to do so. Bringing your palms together, lifting up through your rib cage and gazing up at the sky. On your next exhale, releasing your hands, framing your front foot once again. Tucking your left toes under, lifting your knee off the mat, and stepping your left knee up to meet the right. Left foot up to meet the right, sorry. Coming into a forward fold. Inhale, bringing your palms to your shins, lengthening your spine, and exhale as you fold deeper. Reverse swan dive, coming up to standing, reaching your fingertips up towards the sky, palms together, and bringing your hands in at heart center. We're going to do a couple sun salutations, warming up the legs. Inhaling, sweeping your arms up overhead. Swan dive forward. Inhale, bringing your palms to your shins, lengthening your spine. Exhale, folding forward. Stepping back with your right foot, and then your left. Coming into plank position, engaging your core. Pressing yourself back into down dog. Breathing here. Inhale your right leg up behind you and stepping it in between your hands, sinking low in your low lunge. Stepping your left foot up to meet the right, folding forward. Inhale, palms to the shins, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reverse swan dive, coming back up to standing, reaching your fingertips up towards the sky. Palms together, bringing your hands to heart center and Anjali Mudra. Once again, inhaling your arms up overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, palms to shins, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. Stepping back with your left leg, coming into a low lunge. Planting your palms, stepping back with your right foot, engaging your core, coming into plank, and pressing yourself back into down dog. Sweeping your left leg up behind you and stepping it in between your hands. Coming into your low lunge, pressing through your right heel. Stepping your right foot up to meet the left, forward fold. Inhale, palms to shins, lengthen your spine, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, reaching your fingertips up towards the sky, lengthening through your rib cage, bringing your palms together, and coming to heart center. You made it. So turning to face me and lining up your heels with the long end of your mat, and your feet want to be about the distance of one of your legs. So everybody's stance is going to be different. And the floor is a little bit slippery. If you're using a towel and you want to step on the floor, feel free to do so. So rotating your right toes in the direction toward the right, toward the short end of your mat, and slightly pigeon-toeing your back toes slightly. We're going to prepare for our warrior series here. Inhaling your arms into a T position, palms facing away from you. Squeezing your shoulder blades together and rotating your palms down towards the floor. Bending through your right knee and turning to gaze over the middle finger of your right hand. Pressing into the outside edges of your feet, allowing your hips to open up here. Breathing here. Flipping your front palm over and reaching back, coming into your reclined warrior. Allowing your left hand to come to the back of your left leg and reaching your right arm overhead, bringing your bicep to the ear. Just coming in your reclined warrior. Exhaling, bringing your right shin to your right thigh and sweeping your left arm across your face, coming into extended side angle, pressing into the outside edge of your left foot and lengthening through your left side body, reaching with your left fingertips toward the wall and using your forearm on your right shin to rotate your chest up towards the sky. I know it's a little tough, slippy, but try to grip as much as you can. Allowing your top arm to pull you back up to standing and pigeon-toeing both feet in toward one another, bringing your hands to your hips and hinging forward, allowing your hands to find the mat and begin to move in and out of your wide-legged forward fold. So bending one knee as you keep the other leg straightened, and then bending the other leg and just moving from side to side, feeling a nice stretch in your inner thighs here. And then coming to stillness and walking your hands away from you, coming off your mat and pressing yourself back, coming into your wide-legged down dog. This is a great stretch for the backs of the legs. A lot of times in regular down dog, it's tough to get your heels all the way down to the floor. This is a great stretch for the back of the leg. Shaking your head no, nodding your head yes, releasing any tension or pressure you feel in the back of your neck here. Walking your hands back to center, bringing your hands to your hips, pressing into the outside edges of your feet, keeping your back flat, coming all the way up to standing. So what we do on one side, we have to do on the other. Coming into our warrior series on the other side. If you need to widen your stance, feel free to do so. Left toes turn toward the left, toward the short end of our mat, and right toes slightly pigeon in a little bit. Interlacing your hands behind you, allow your chest to open up, drawing your knuckles down toward the earth, bending into your left leg, pressing into the outside edges of your feet, allowing your hips to open up here. Keeping your shoulders and chest open, releasing your grasp, bringing your arms out to a T position, turning to gaze over the middle finger of your left hand, coming into your strong warrior. If your mind begins to wander, just remind yourself, I am a strong warrior. Flipping your front palm over, coming up into our reclined warrior, allowing your right hand to slide down your back leg. And reaching your left fingertips over your head, lengthening through the left side of your body, and bending deeper into your front leg. Inhaling, bringing your forearm to your left thigh and sweeping your right arm across your face, lengthening through the right side body, pressing into the outside edge of your right foot and using your left forearm as leverage, rotating your chest up toward the sky. Breathing here, and then using your top arm to pull you back up to standing, pigeon-toeing your feet in once again, bringing your hands to your hips, lengthening through your spine, and folding forward. Walking your hands over towards your right ankle, grabbing a hold of your foot or shin or ankle, whatever you can reach. And then trying to reach your forehead towards your right knee. Getting a nice stretch here. And then walking through center once again, walking over to the left side, grabbing a hold your left ankle or shin or foot, whatever feels good, and then guiding your forehead towards your knees. Walking back towards the middle, pressing into the outside edges of your feet, bringing your hands to your hips, lengthening your spine, and pressing yourself all the way up to standing. Turning towards the back of your mat, stepping your feet about mat width distance apart, and rotating your toes about 45 degrees. Bringing your hands to your hips, your hands to heart center, undulate mudra, and begin to bend your knees, coming into Yogi squat. Trying to keep your feet flat on the floor, bringing your elbows to your inner thighs, and pressing your palms in toward one another to open up through your hips. Breathing here. Keeping your spine long. Planting your hands on the mat and straightening your legs. Breathing here. And then toe heeling your feet together and coming to sit on your mat, facing the back of your mat. Bringing the soles of your feet onto the mat, knees pointed up towards the sky, and bringing the backs of your hands, or bringing your hands to the backs of your thighs. Rounding your spine, tucking your chin towards your chest, gently lowering yourself down. Coming to a flat back on your mat, inhaling your knees towards your chest, and reaching for the outside edges of your feet, sending the soles of your feet up towards the sky, opening your knees wide and sinking them low, coming into full happy baby. Begin to rock from side to side if that feels good for you. And coming to stillness, begin to move in and out of your one-legged baby. Lengthen and straighten through one leg as you bend through the other, and just alternating through this movement. Lengthening through the back of your legs. And then coming back to your full happy baby, pressing both feet up towards the sky, opening your knees wide, and sinking them down into your armpits. Pressing your feet into your fingers as you press your fingers into your feet. Lengthening through your tailbone, pressing the small of the back into the floor. So if I came around with a flashlight, there should be no light able to get through to the other side. You're pressing your back into the mat. Switching your hand grip, bringing your hand to the inside of your foot, coming into dead bug pose. Inhaling as you press the soles of your feet into your palms, lengthening through your tailbone, pressing your low back into the floor. Guiding the soles of your feet toward one another, wrapping your hands around your feet, and bringing your heels in as close to your groin as you can. Opening your knees wide and lengthening through your tailbone. Releasing your feet, keeping the soles pressed together. Allow your feet to come down to the mat and just gently placing your hands on your inner thighs. And without forcing, just allow the weight to open up your hips. A gentle weight of your hands. right, gently guiding your knees back toward one another. Inhaling your knees back towards your chest, wrapping your forearms around your shins, bringing your nose to your knees, lifting your head and shoulders off the mat, tucking your chin, coming into a tight ball, pressing your shins into your forearms, and then releasing your head and shoulders back down to the mat. Bringing your hands to the backs of your thighs, begin to roll forward and back on your mat lengthwise. Keeping your chin tucked. And when you begin to smile, feel free to roll yourself up, balancing on your sit bones. Feet are slightly hovering over the mat, squeezing your shoulder blades together, opening through your chest. Feel free to stay here if you'd like to challenge yourself this morning. We're going to come into full boat, lengthening through one leg, straightening the left leg, and then straightening the other, squeezing your inner thighs together, keeping the backs of your keeping your hands to the backs of your thighs, squeezing your shoulder blades together, opening through your chest, pressing through your heels. And if this is where you are this morning, that's fine. Feel free to stay here. If you want to move even further into this pose, releasing one hand and then the other, arms out straight in front of you, palms facing one another, coming into a V position. Say good morning to your core, and then allow your feet to come down to the earth. Inhale as you sweep your arms overhead, lengthening through your spine, and then exhale as you hinge forward, finding your toes or your ankles or your shins. If you need to bend your knees slightly, that's fine. Gazing down at your knees, keep the back of your neck long. Inhaling as you lengthen through your spine, and as you exhale, hinging deeper into your forward fold. Using your breath to deepen your pose this morning. Lengthen as you inhale, and hinge deeper as you exhale. Reaching your arms out in front of you, coming back to an upright position, fingertips reaching for the sky, bringing your hands together and coming into prayer position at Anjali Mudra. Turning to face me in a comfortable cross-legged position. Giving our feet a little love this morning. Bringing your left foot on top of your right thigh. And interlacing your fingers in between your toes, really getting down to the webbing. One of my students calls this holding hands with your feet. So begin to expand and contract your fingers, creating space between each toe. Begin to pull your toes towards you and press them away and circle them around, whatever feels good for you today. Feet have been working hard this week, keeping us upright, hopefully on skis. And when you're ready, popping your fingers out of your toes, and with a loose fist, gently tapping the bottom of your foot. And grabbing a hold of your knee and your calf, whatever feels good for you. We're going to shake out our ankles. So just leave your foot loose. And when you shake your leg, your foot should just sort of dangle back and forth. This allows the synovial fluid to move down to the ankle joint. Just giving it a little shake here. And then resting your left foot back on your right thigh. And with your two thumbs, starting from your heel, begin to gently massage in outward small circles up through your inner arch, up to the ball of your foot, and down through the sole. toe, a little tug, and moving to the next toe. And then giving the big toe a tug. Releasing your left foot down to the floor and switching feet here, bringing the right foot to the top of your left thigh and interlacing your fingers in between your toes, really getting down to the webbing. And if you notice that it's sort of a struggle for you to get your fingers into your toes, do this every single day and it will get better. It will get easier. Your feet will start to feel better. You'll have better balance. So if you're not doing so already, begin to expand and contract your fingers, creating space between each toe. And pulling your toes towards you, pressing them away, circle them around. Whatever feels good for your feet today. Popping your fingers out of your toes. With a loose fist, gently begin to tap at the bottom of your foot. Coming to stillness and grabbing a hold of your right leg, allowing your right foot to be loose, and just give it a little shake here. Allowing your foot to just dangle. No tension in the foot or ankle. And then allowing your right foot to rest back on your left side. And taking your thumbs, starting from your heel, making small outward circular motions, massaging up through your inner arch. Across the ball, down through the sole. And giving your pinky toe a little tug. And moving on to the next toe. And the other toe. And finally, the big toe. Releasing your foot and turning to lay all the way down on your mat. Turning so that your head is at the top of your mat. Gently bringing yourself all the way down. Extending your legs long on your mat. Bringing your palms to face the top of the room, so that would be the ceiling. And then allow your feet to just relax out to the side. Allowing your eyes to close, if that feels good for you today. Just resting here in our final pose, our Shavasana. Tucking your chin slightly, allowing your shoulders to move away from your ears. Creating space in your jaw, allowing your bottom teeth to fall away from your top teeth. Allow your tongue to fall from the roof of your mouth. And allow the space between your eyebrows to soften. Breathing here. Relaxing deeper into the mat with each exhalation. yourself back to this room if your mind has wandered, and rolling over to one side, bringing your knees in towards your chest, coming into a fetal position, our very first yoga pose. Taking a breath or two here, and then when you're ready, gently pressing yourself up into a comfortable cross-legged position. Inhaling your shoulders up by your ears and relaxing them down your back, tucking your chin to your chest and interlacing your hands behind your head. Just allowing the weight of your hands to deepen the stretch in the back of your neck. Releasing your hands from the back of your head and bringing your gaze back to neutral. Feel free to join me in a closing Om if you'd wish. Bringing your hands together at heart center. Exhaling all of the breath from your lungs.